which exchanges we are expecting in next week, if you are comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. So we're targeting T2s right now. So obviously we would love to go for, the big guys like HTX, Binance and all that stuff, but it takes a little from actively buying and selling, but also the holder count. So as we grow our holder count, it'll basically open us up to larger exchanges. So you'll see on socials early next week as far as exchanges and which ones we're going to be listed on or when we're getting listed, probably as early as Tuesday. So we'll make that announcement.
Charlie, I have a question because we are getting a few complaints from the people about the slippage, and they are very much concerned about it. And most of them are just asking the reason of slippage because it was not a normal or ordinary slippage. This was like many people even dropped their 50% or 60% Solana in the slippage. So may I know what is the reason of that and how can we get rid of this?
For sure. So slippage it doesn't exist anymore. So slippage is controlled. Well, sorry, it's not like it doesn't exist, but slippage is controlled by the user, right? So it's like when a token first launches and you want to secure an early position in the token, you increase your slippage. So basically what's happening is like there's so much volatility in the beginning of a token, you increase slippage. So let's say you try and place a buy at $2 million, but by the time that the order actually executes, the chart is now at $3.5 million, and your order actually won't get filled, and you won't secure tokens because your slippage wasn't high enough. So when even myself, like when I'm looking at buying tokens, right off the back, usually I will do a higher slippage, but as things start to taper off, then you either do a lower slippage or no slippage at all. It really just depends. But right now for Jupiter, like a standard set slippage is 3%. And I heard that there was a lot of people or a lot of excitement around the token where people were increasing their slippage to secure positions early on. And from what I understand is they spent or increased slippage a little bit too high. So just my recommendations is when you guys are securing additional positions within Goodboy, just make sure that you're doing like a dynamic slippage on Jupiter. So as long as you do dynamic and it's not like anything super high, once again, that initial buy pressure has tapered off, and now it's just about building. It's about building conviction in the chart and building the chart up a little bit. I would just stick to normal slippage.
So we can assure our people that they're not going to lose their. There will be no more extra slippage from now onwards.
100%, and that's something that's user controlled, right? So when you guys, so just to teach a little bit. So when you go on Jupiter, when you're placing a buy and you're swapping Sol from, you're swapping to Goodboy from Sol or to Stables or from Stables, just make sure when you're setting your slippage, it's either the like whatever is set by Jupiter, which is like 3%, or you can do something a little bit less. But yeah, since the token is already deployed and there's not that huge influx of users, just make sure when you are buying that it's a lower slippage, and you'll have no problems whatsoever.
Okay, so you say like 3% is the optimal area where they can put their slippage, right?
Yeah, like the thing is, slippage is all about volatility, right? So it's like when you place the order, if the token goes up more than 3% by the time that the order can execute, then your order doesn't fill because it is now out of your slippage parameter, right? So if there's a lot of movement in the chart, sometimes you want to set slippage a little higher. But right now, looking at the chart, my recommendation would be just whatever Jupiter has set for slippage.
Okay. In our community, I'm sure a lot of people would have already made really good money since morning. And now token is on a stable position, not too much variation in that. So where do you see, like, on the next pump, can we talk about it so that we can just tell our community to be prepared for the next, they are already buying, but I would like to bring in their knowledge that yes, this is not, because everybody is like thinking one concern was the slippage and one is the lateness. that they are now late for the joining. So is it the right time for the joining for them, for those people who have not joined yet? Can they join now?
Yeah, guys, like I can't stress this enough. You're not late at all. If anything, like the chart is more stable than it's ever been. You're at a $20 million floor. People are constantly scooping up anything that goes under 20 million. And you also have to think about, like what I mentioned earlier in the AMA, the things that we have planned not only next week, but this month as well too, right? So when it comes to exchange listing, more volume, more users. More sex listings, more volume, more users. When we do TikTok campaigns, it's more exposure, more users, more holders. It's everything that you want, right? So it's like over the next couple of weeks, like when I look at the chart and the project as it is, it's super solid. So as long as you guys are just like making sure that slippage is once again, just do the automatically set slippage for Jupiter. You won't lose any money. And really, you only want slippage like during very volatile times. Right now, it's stable, so slippage is not a concern. And then as far as like being too late, I absolutely would not say that, because I'm going to tell you in 2 weeks from now, when you look at the chart, you are not going to think you're late. You're going to think that you were early because you decided to buy in. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's great. That's
Okay.
great. So
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Sorry, Charlie, can you please which we committed with our community. As per before launching, we committed with our community. Nobody have loss in this project, and if you sell in a good price, that's very good. If you didn't sell in a good price, we will give you opportunity to 2x. So when we will do this?
Yeah, well, I think the last post that we had, we indicated that we're going to make sure the chart is heading in like the right direction. Like when you're buying into this project and like even like short-term vision of this, we don't want somebody to 2x, right? We want somebody to 3x, 4x, even 10x, right? And it's like this token is less than 24 hours old. It's less than 12 hours old. As far as X's, I'm sure everybody's going to be in a really good spot relatively soon. So Jupiter and slippage, not an issue. We have plans for short-term and long-term building. And, ideally, once again, not financial advice, but would love to see this coin around like that $100 million mark by sometime next week. And then continue to push it even further than that. So even myself, like I'm looking at sizing up my position around 20 million. So.
And when KOLs will be started?
Yeah, so we have influencers that are going to be starting probably by the end of this weekend and then early next week as well too. So, but we're being very selective because there's a lot of wrong influencers and there's a lot of very few right influencers, and we want to make sure that we're picking the right influencers for this project. Because ultimately, when you're bringing on KOLs, you're giving away a percentage of the supply of Good Boy for them to participate. And we want as little supply out from the project as possible, so we can control the project, because once again, this is a community ran project. And we just don't want KOLs to be selling on us, right? So it's a little bit of like a cat and mouse game, and it's something that we're actively discussing. But everything's in motion. The team's been cranking all morning, setting up for this weekend and then early next week as well too.
Okay, one more thing, Charlie. We must congratulate you because 99.99% meme token after listing. All activities has been stopped, but as a Good Boy, we saw within 1 hour Good Boy is in a CMC, and I know this is just a beginning. So you are very working hard for Good Boy, and we are very hopeful. This project is very potential, and our community will get a huge profit from this.
Yeah, that's absolutely the plan, man. And I personally don't plan on leaving my place until Good Boy is over that $100 million mark. So I'll see the sun outside once we're over that threshold. But guys, like, this is something, as far as the team goes, like There's been over $1 billion in deployments. We work with some of the best people in the space, the best creative minds, and the most connected people. It's all about trusting the process, you know? Like if you don't even look at Good Boy, look at any other token and, you know, look at their trajectory. There's typically a huge buy-in at the beginning, things settle, right? People secure positions and then the chart starts working its way up. This is an extremely normal instance. The only thing that I would say is like abnormal would be the whole slippage thing, but that's not an issue anymore. So I think ultimately it just boils down to like education of the community, and just as long as everybody is doing like once again Jupiter set slippage, then everything will be fine. So I'm looking forward to the road.
Charlie, just to educate the community, this figure like 100 million is simply wow and simply amazing. Where do you see, just to educate them, like if the figure touches 100 million, the market cap, so where do you see the price?
Well, that would be the market cap, would be the price. So, like, you mean like the price of the token at $100 million market cap?
Yeah, this too, yeah.
Well, price
I
of
think
token,
so. Charlie, can you
That's one
please?
cent.
I can explain you. I can explain them.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
go
so. The main like 10x or 20x potential is still pending.
of course.
So we will wait for this potential. And one more thing, very special question. In every meme coin have a story behind story. So what is the story behind good boy?
Yeah, for sure. It like really what it boils down to is just good vibes. You know, you'll see that come out through like our content. I'm not sure if you guys have heard much, but we have some of the best content creators in the space that are really big in Web 2 that have also worked on really, really big IPs. And you might see some similarities in Good Boy's character. But it's just like, at the end of the day, like a meme is like how it makes you feel, you know? Like, do you like the art? Does it resonate with you? Do you think the community is going to like it? And it's just, Good Boy checks all those boxes of being feel good, but at the same time, you know, the meme space / gen community like really likes it as well. So you're appealing to all audiences, which is what makes it such a tight and has the potential to go, you know, to a very large market cap. Is you're hitting all those audiences. So like our job as a community, like everybody that's listening on this call is like getting people engaged, sharing the token, sharing the meme, sharing the vision, right? It's like, hey, you know, reaching out to a friend or to a leader and saying, it's like, hey, you know, this token looks really cool. It's good vibes. It's backed by a solid team. Within the first day, they're already number 9 on Dex Screener. You guys should look at maybe buying a position in this. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's about working the tokens and working the bags that you have, right? To get the word out there about Good Boy, right? And those are the people that win, are the ones that get in like early and often. And I would say that we are still beyond early for Good Boy.